I'm Arnold Sadikiel Mmbando, a Ph.D. student in Durham University, also a medical entomologist. Currently, I'm doing data collection in Mtwara with regard to testing the impact of the novel design health houses in terms of reducing the vector density inside the house. As I said, I'm leading the entomological part of the work, which we assess the impact of star homes on reducing the indoor malaria and domestic fly densities as a proxy measure of malaria and diarrhea illness in under 13 years old children living in rural Mtwara. Currently, we do have 3,000 species of mosquitoes known that exist on the planet, but only 40 species can transmit malaria. And malaria transmission is being mediated by species like Anopheles arabiensis and Anopheles funestus, mostly in the rural part of the country. But now we do have a newly invasive species, which is called the Anopheles stephensi, which may transmit malaria in the urban setting. Female mosquitoes are the ones which transmit malaria, and it transmits malaria when it bites a malaria-infected person and picks up the parasites inside the blood meal. And the parasite develop inside the mosquito's bodies and concentrate in the salivary gland. And when a mosquito do a second blood meal, that's where it spit out the saliva which contains the parasite before sucking the blood, and that's where the person is getting infected. After the onset of mosquito feeding, that's what made mosquitoes to develop their eggs and lay their eggs in the still water, which occurring after 2 to 3 days after the blood meal. Mosquitoes only require a cupful of water, to lay eggs but most malaria mosquitoes are found in larger amount of water. For example, the malaria mosquitoes in sub-Saharan Africa, Anopheles gambi, is found to breed anywhere except in the smelly water, while the Anopheles funestus, they prefer larger and permanent breeding habitat. There are the plenty of water holding containers which mosquito can use to breed. Many are man-made features like dams, rice field, tanks, drainage channels, all the bricks. As well as there is also natural bodies such as small puddles bordering the rivers and streams and flooded areas. The main entry point of malaria mosquitoes is the gap. Inside the house, mosquito using the gap between the top of the wall and the overhanging roof, which we call it eave gap. In houses that do not have these open eave gaps, they prefer to enter through the gaps around badly fitting windows and doors. And the water made mosquitoes to enter inside the house than to concentrate outside is because of carbon dioxide concentration, which act as a main mosquito attractant. They prefer to do that during the start early evening hours when the house occupants are not under any mosquito bite control tools such as bednets and indoor residual spraying. At that time, people are in danger of encountering a bite from infected mosquitoes. And this time specifically is the early evening hours, between 18:30 up to 22 hours. And also it occurs also as well as early morning hours when occupants are in danger of encountering malaria parasite. And leave this fractional period of time after 22 hours up to 5:30 in the early morning because of most of that time are protected under the bed net. In the rural part of the country, most of the people relied on using the insecticide-treated bed nets as a major way of preventing themselves against mosquito bites. As well as some few places in the country, they are practicing the indoor residual spraying. But alternatively, apart from indoor residual spraying and the bed nets, some people in the villages use long sleeve cloth as the way to prevent themselves against mosquito bites. And others use the pieces of cloth or fabric to chase away mosquitoes during the evening when they're outdoor. Millions of lives in Africa have been saved by using the bed nets, especially in the most vulnerable population of younger children and pregnant women. And to do this, there's some kind of challenges which are facing the bed net use. One of it is availability of the net. Some people do not use the bed nets because they cannot access it, especially for the ones who are living in the rural part or remote places where it's hard for malaria control programs to reach there and disseminate the bed nets. And also there's some other challenges, misuse of the net. Like in peri-urban areas or in the urban setting, you can find people using the old nets for other activities. For example, they use it for fishing or fencing their gardens. The other challenge which facing the use of bed nets is the hot environment. Like in African village, people may not sleep under the bed nets because the room is too hot. So when they use the bed net, it seems like they are increasing their discomfort in terms of temperature. Mosquitoes, as other organisms, are highly affected by climate change. like in increasing temperature shown to accelerate mosquito metabolic activities. Hence, they grew faster and become infectious quicker than in cooler environments. Apart from that, climate change can also introduce a new mosquito-borne infection to a new environment which never existed before. Too much rains can also wash out the breeding sites and reduce the mosquito numbers. In a drought setting, people prefer to use the storage tanks, buckets, open water wells, or barrel, which are acted also as mosquito breeding habitat. People are using the barrel and tanks and open water wells act as a major breeding habitat for Anopheles stephensi.